We're going to discuss the lands at Islands of Adventure.
To discuss whether the IPs and themes are still relevant today.
And if not, do they still have a place in the park?
This is episode 524 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. We are back. We'll pull the curtain back. This episode was recorded a while ago. We are currently in Orlando, by the way.
Yay!
That voice you heard there is joining me. It's my lovely wife, Tracy.
Hello, everyone!
I also have Christopher.
Hey!
And Michelle.
Hi, hi.
And we have a strange visitor sitting next to me.
Is it E.T.?
Our child is here.
Oh, the child, Grogu.
Say hello, Jade.
Hello.
Hey!
She's quite nervous.
She looks
Hopefully, hopefully it will come out of its shell as we go.
It's
Making her feel right at home.
Yeah.
So this episode was brought to my attention. Well, the topic of this episode was brought to my attention by a listener, and I do apologise now because I cannot remember who it was. So if you're listening, you go, it was me.
Yeah, shout up.
It was a while ago, and I've completely forgotten. But basically, he messaged me and he went, "Have you ever considered looking at the lands, the IPs that the lands in the parks are based on, and kind of discussing how relevant they are still today?" Like, obviously, with pop culture reference. So you look at, like, I don't want to sort of give anything away as where we're going to go discussion-wise, but obviously, like, you look at a lot of the Disney attractions, the Disneylands or whatever, based on, sort of like, say, Avatar, for example. Like, when that opened, was it relevant at the time? Because it hadn't been a movie for 10 years. No one gave a shit about it at that point. So we kind of want to talk about the lands at Islands of Adventure from that perspective. But then if it's not relevant from a pop culture standpoint, does it still have a place in the park? And then, if anyone wants to, kind of jump in and what you would replace it with if you wanted to. I know I didn't. But if
You like curveballs, don't you?
this is why Jade's here with us, because we skew slightly older.
The voice of youth.
The four of us are like post 30 at this point. Jade
Speak for yourself, 29.
turned 18 a while ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
It'll be about 4 weeks
That's
ago.
not
at
a
this
while,
point.
for goodness sake. I turned 18 a while ago.
So Jade has been brought on as the voice of youth.
The emo
'Cause
voice
we're all
of
You're
youth.
making us
fast.
sound so damn old.
You want to see the smile on the face,
Well, look,
which isn't there,
We're all so
actually.
old that we had to bring a young person on the
Yes.
show.
A
Hope you enjoy.
So she's a little nervous, not quite sure how these things go quite.
Because
So
she doesn't listen
obviously
to the show either.
I have put things... No, because why the hell would you? I've put everyone in
Yeah.
order as far as wanting to kind of talk about each one. So we're going to start off with a nice, easy one, and that is port of entry. Michelle, I've thrown you under the bus. You're the first one to go, dear.
Oh man, for port of entry? Shouldn't that be Tracy?
That's why I'm shaking my head.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
It's like he's never met us.
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
Port of entry. So my opinion on port of entry is, I mean, it's not really based on any kind of an IP or anything. So yeah, it's relevant.
Yeah, that's what we're like. If it's not based on an IP, because there is another land in this park that's not based on an IP, but obviously based on a theme.
Right. I think that the theming of port of entry is kind of, it'll outlast time. Like it's a timeless theme. And it's just kind of become part of the experience for me. So if it weren't there, I would really miss it. Like I can't picture it being anything else. I don't even want to picture it being anything else. So in my opinion, yes, it's relevant and it always will be.
Port of entry. I agree. I think so. Like, port of entry is obviously like your first, view of the park. It's like your main street in Disney and Hollywood Boulevard over in Universal. And like Michelle said, it has kind of like this timeless kind of thing, right? It's its own little story. You can go there. If you rewind the clock when they first open, it still has that same feel that you go there, if you were to go tomorrow. So it doesn't really change or gets, outdated, in my opinion. It also, doesn't have any rides. It's a big food court with a cool story. So I don't think you'd have to change out anything at Port of Entry. I think, the kind of the story that they have going on there works, especially because you're at Islands of Adventure and all the different islands and the seaport and that kind of stuff. So I think that all works well. I would not change it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Port of Entry it's your opening scene. It's your scene setter. You are walking through it's setting the story. It does. You're walking through a port that was created from shipwrecks. Because if you look around, the windmills made from sails of the boat. The merchants that are about are people who had boats that were wrecked, or they've ended up migrating here from the islands that are dotted about. And it is the port, it's the hub of the whole place. So you're walking down there and it's progressively telling you a story before you get your big reveal of the lagoon. So for me, it's essential. Without that, the rest of the park isn't really cohesive.
Yeah,
So
I think it's interesting because obviously so if you go to Confisco Grill, there's a lot of props from every land in the park.
yeah,
So it kind of anchors the rest of the lands into that entrance land.
because that's trade.
It would have been so easy for them to include elements from elsewhere around the park in Port of Entry,
It would
which
have been a
would have
mishmash.
dated it at that point. It would have made it less relevant. Whereas as it is right now, I agree with what everyone else has said beforehand. It will never date. It will never become irrelevant because they picked a very timeless theme for it that has its own story, and it's absolutely perfect.
It's very romantic in thing.
Yeah. See, I'm interested in Jade's point of view. She probably has no idea what she's going to
She's
say
probably
right
crapping
now.
herself now.
But from a point of view of someone that isn't into these things as much as we are, and doesn't probably know the story of Port of Entry as much as we
I'm
do.
interested to hear what she's got to say because she's
What
got
do
a
you
very
think
artistic
of Port
eye.
of Entry, Jade?
So I don't think it has to be necessarily relevant to pop culture. Not everything has to be brand new and fresh and like from the latest movie. Like you can have stuff that's different from that, and whatever. It's also original. It's like they created it, I feel like if you have a Universal park and most of the stuff isn't made by Universal, it seems kind of weird because your park is your park and you have stuff that you haven't created. So the fact that it's an original thing is really good. Also, from what I remember of it, most of the colours are quite warm, and for somewhere that like opens up, like that's your first area that you go into, it's warm, which invokes like inviting and stuff. So you go into that and it's nice and warm and chill and relaxing. It just seems like a good place to start off the park.
Jade has completely just validated her inclusion on this podcast with that statement there.
I was just going to say...
That was
Good job.
fantastic.
I was going to say...
Yeah,
And
I
Jade
never
will,
thought about the warm colors.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, and Jade will join us later. Who's this? That's the most I've ever heard her say.
You're right, but it's an
But
interesting...
yeah, that was very insightful.
She's put a really interesting point across because a lot of, especially when we do this for Universal Studios Florida, a lot of those IPs aren't owned by Universal, which is the one thing that does make those parks very strange. It is
The transient.
for it to be Universal Studios and a lot of those IPs not owned by Universal. It is a very strange thing, and this is where Universal have always struggled over Disney, because everything
Disney own
do is
everything.
Disney, and then everything they've wanted to put in to try and make them pop culture relevant, they've just gone out and bought.
Well, yeah.
It's like Marvel and Star Wars, and I didn't expect this discussion of Port of Entry to actually go on this long. I expected all just to go, yeah, it's perfect, it'll be fine.
Hi, have you met me? My favourite place. Really?
Right, so moving on, we are going to go clockwise around the park, and we're moving on to Tracy's favourite land, and that would be Zeus Landing. Now, this is an interesting one, because Tracy, just give us a point of reference. How old are the Zeus books?
60s.
I thought they were older than
60s,
that.
70s. I think this is one of the early ones that aren't classed as children's books are late 50s, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
But yeah, you're going back 60 years with with some of them. 60, 70 nearly.
Chris, you're up next, buddy. Well, the question we're asking first off, Chris, is do you think pop culturally it is relevant today?
This is one of those hard ones because not really. Seuss had its, I want to say, popularity and heyday, a lot years ago at this point. I mean, I grew up on Seuss books as well, but even before that, it's been around for a long time. So I don't think it's as relevant, but at the same time, it also invokes a sense of nostalgia, going through here. Even as an adult, I enjoy what they do here. I really do enjoy the land, especially, obviously during Christmas time, and you got all the Who's out, and it just adds this really vibrant kind of feel when you're going through there. The colors, the brightness that area gives to the park. I think it's something that could definitely stay there for years to come. I mean, it's proven itself. Like Tracy said, it came out in the 60s and it's still here. It's, people still talk about Dr. Seuss. You can pretty much mention Dr. Seuss to anybody and they know what you're talking about. So while it may not be a pop culture relevant item, it's something that everybody knows and probably has a connection to. So I feel like that can stay around for many years to come. So I wouldn't change this area now.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, a lot of people just know Zeus stuff in modern times apart from the Grinch, they're not very good films. But everything Chris has said is, along the lines of my thinking. He was ahead of his time with, I've said this many, many times, everybody who listens to the show knows I've said this. He was ahead of his time with his thinking, teaching people about looking after your environment, not cutting down your trees, not littering and being nice to people. We will just push to one side some of the other things that have been addressed by the family. But
he loved his planet.
Yeah. But barring anything negative coming out about stories that nobody's picked up on, I can't see any reason to change anything in there. They are timeless messages, not just stories. Most of those stories have a moral grounding, and a lot of people need that nowadays. Let's face it. So for me, not just because I love the land anyway, but for me, I think it still is relevant. And it should still be celebrated.
Yeah, I didn't think this one would be as divisive as it is. I mean, considering those books have been around for as long as they have, and I think it's definitely more in the US than over in the UK. That I think a lot of kids got brought up on Dr. Seuss books in the US more so than they have over here. I mean, Chris and Michelle, were you brought up on Dr. Seuss books as kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you pick them up through the book fair, definitely, or have them mailed to your house.
It's some of the first books you learn to read from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, our kids got brought up on them because of us going to Islands of Adventure.
We knew Cat in the Hat, and I think it was because of the Grinch movie, the Jim Carrey one, that Zeus' popularity over here started to increase.
Yeah.
That masterpiece of a film.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that still makes this land relevant pop culture wise. When you make a Christmas film that hits as hard as the Grinch does, people roll it out. It goes in their rotation every year. It's in ours. You watch it every year, which makes Dr. Seuss relevant. You make a one-off, a Mike Myers Cat in the Hat, or a Lorax, or something like that. And we haven't even watched the Lorax yet.
No.
You might watch it once, and then maybe 5 years later. But with the Grinch being as good as it is, people watch it every year, and that keeps that relevance there every year. And then the fact that they really lean into that at Universal by doing Grinchmas every year definitely keeps it more relevant. And I agree with Tracy. Look at the message that the Grinch tells and the Lorax are probably more relevant now than they were when he wrote them.
I'm not quite sure what message the Cat in the Hat is giving, though.
Don't around at home when your mum's out.
Yeah, you listening, Jade?
Don't wreck the house when your mum's not in. I don't know where. weird little creatures messing. Yeah, don't
They're
do
just
that.
the kids, aren't they?
So it's a strange one because it is old. It does have that nostalgic feel, but I think there's still pop culture things coming out about it now. Like you say, there was the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch came out a few years ago. Look at the phenomenon that's Wes Tank last year that came out doing his... if you haven't listened to that episode, go and find it. It was awesome.
And go and find Wes because he's amazing.
Those raps that it is still pop culturally relevant. And I think it's also one of those things that is very timeless.
Yeah.
And has a place in that
Yeah.
park because of that reason.
But Sam Naj, you are still wrong. I'm sorry, but the book Grinch is superior.
Originally, I thought it wasn't really that popular because, like, if you hadn't brought me up on him, I feel like I wouldn't know about him.
Fair enough.
But you mentioned the Grinch before and mentioned Lorax. And, like, whenever it's school, like, we're in school and it's, like, almost Christmas, they put on, like, these movies and there would always be the Grinch on. And, you know, seeing as when it's played in our house pretty much all year round, it's kind of like, all right, I've seen it. I get it. Like, I love it, but, like, I'm kind of sick of it. But, like, the kids in our class, you know, they knew of the Grinch. And the Lorax is quite a popular thing, especially online. So it's like... Really? Just because you know those two movies doesn't mean you necessarily know about Zeus, like all the books and that. You might know it's from a book, but you wouldn't necessarily go looking for it. So I wouldn't really say it's really popular over here, at least with like my friends and stuff. Like they know the Grinch, they know the Lorax, but I don't think they know Zeus like as a whole.
Yeah,
you're saying it's popular because of the movies rather than the books.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're an anomaly being brought up on them because let's face it, Fox and Socks was the favourite. And Too Many Days, but that's only because I used to laugh.
Soggy Muff.
Soggy Muff. Every time. I love that. Anyway.
So I'd say it's not 100% relevant, at least over here. But like, unless you can come up with something to replace it, I don't really think you have a right to like criticize it and be like, oh, well, it doesn't really suit. It's like, if you have something that you think would go better, then, you know, sure. But if you're just going to say it doesn't really go there, then you don't really have a, you know, it's kind of silly to say something about it if you can't fix it.
I genuinely think as a kids area in the US, it's the perfect theme for it because you can get away with being a bright, colourful, interesting land with interesting characters, but then also tell a message while you're doing it.
At the same time.
I think it's a great land.
And has best toilets.
I don't think I appreciate it as much as I probably should, to be fair.
I'm sorry, how many years have we been going? How many years have I been telling you? When are you going to listen?
I know.
I love Seuss Landing. Like, not even if I don't have kids with me, I love Seuss Landing. Like, I feel like every time I have to ride Cat in the Hat and I have to ride the High in the Sky trolley, I love it. As far as relevance goes, so, are there more popular IPs out there? Yes, there are. However, the IPs that are being put out today, I don't think have the timeless quality that Dr. Seuss does.
Agreed.
Where will Paw Patrol
changing
be in 40
it
years?
out for something current, I don't think would be a smart move. Dr. Seuss is going nowhere. You know, like he's always going to be, in America at least, he's always going to be a staple of children's literature, if not like the pinnacle, you know, the one that people think of when you say children's literature. Dr. Seuss is the first one that anybody thinks of here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name one other author of children's books. Not one.
No, me either, to be fair.
And as a parent and as someone who, I don't work in the field of education, but I am on a school board and I spend obviously a lot of time in my daughter's school. He's everywhere. Dr. Seuss is everywhere still. It's the first thing, like almost everybody gets a Dr. Seuss book for a baby shower. Almost everybody gets a Dr. Seuss book now when they graduate. You know, the old, the places you'll go.
Mental note there.
Yeah, it's the the places you'll go, isn't it? It's that perfect. Yeah, because Wes did it when he did all the places you'll go. His sister Meredith gave him one for graduating.
It's what we do here.
No pressure for my graduation in 2 years.
Yep. So
yeah,
it's completely relevant in America, and I think it needs to stay. I don't think it needs to go anywhere anytime. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it could be updated. I think that it could probably use some updated technology in it and some sprucing up. Yeah, but
for sure.
The concept, no, it's fine. It sticks. It stays forever.
So here's a question I have. If, and this goes to anybody, if you were to replace this IP, is there anyone that comes to mind?
We're keeping it a kid's land, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So like we got to keep the lands at least close to the vicinity of what
And it's
it is now.
It's got to be younger children.
You see, the interesting point I was going to, and Michelle kind of brought it up there. It's interesting because they did pick something that is timeless.
And so much material.
Because we looked.
So wasn't there something like 63 books?
There is a land at Universal Studios Florida that we will talk about when we move over to talk about that park, where they chose IPs for a kids area that weren't very timeless.
Yeah.
So it's quite clever when they picked Dr. Seuss for that land.
I mean,
The only thing I can think of that has any longevity,
we have that here,
and that is not owned by Disney, would be Bikini Bottom.
Yes, SpongeBob, yeah.
But that's,
I mean,
that's
SpongeBob
still
has
an
been
older...
around forever.
It is, but it's been around a long
I
time.
know, but what I was saying is that's probably age 8 and up.
Jade, from a SpongeBob point of view, I know if I asked you, would you like to see a SpongeBob area, what would you say?
I mean, I think SpongeBob's kind of cool. But like from my view, I think this might be a little bit biased, but I think that The Amazing World of Gumball would be a really cool one.
High five across the room.
Maybe Gravity Falls.
I was just going to say Gravity Falls,
Gravity
please.
Falls.
True.
Gravity Falls.
It is like Disney.
Wait.
Gravity Falls is Disney, isn't it?
I know, but hang on.
It is.
Oh, if it wasn't, Gravity Falls at Halloween Horror Nights. Me and Jade are having a moment.
It's actually a really difficult question, Chris, to come up with something that skews that young that would make a land
You see,
that would have enough to pull from to make an entire land.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even if you, and I'm sure we'll get to it, right? Like if you get the juxtaposition of this land and Toon Lagoon, that is filled.
Oh, we'll get
with
there.
Tons of. Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That it's interesting that it's so, again, another timeless piece here that will be around forever, I think. And everybody knows Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think. Tracy mentioned Peppa Pig. There's actually there's a Peppa Pig land over
That's
over
at
here.
Legoland, isn't there? Yeah.
The one that comes to my mind is like Sesame Street.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
a
how relevant that
SeaWorld,
is
though,
for
isn't
children
it?
That's a Busch
nowadays.
Garden.
That's a Busch
Yeah,
Garden.
that's a Busch
Gardens
Garden.
and
And
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld, yeah.
It's terrible over there.
Yeah, see, the thing is that Disney really has dominated the market for the younger kids, especially now with Disney Plus. Nick Jr., it still exists, but it's not like people don't have cable, like traditional cable and satellite TV very much anymore. So they don't really, Nick hasn't come up with something that's like Disney Plus. So pretty much that younger small kid generation now, it's all Disney. So that would be kind of hard to replace.
Everything I'm
Seuss
thinking
Landing.
of is short-lived. I mean, Teletubbies, but I think there's a Teletubby land.
Oh gosh, Teletubby.
And that's only really going to be
Blue's Clues is
one-time
making a
thing.
comeback.
You know, in the Night Garden, I hated that so
I love
much.
that.
She loved it, I hated
Let's
it.
just get rid of kids' areas altogether and just make it Rick and Morty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'll be on board with that.
We don't want kids in our Universal parks. We've said that for a long
Sorry,
time.
Jade. They
She's
like
not
you
a
now
kid.
that you're 18,
She-
apparently.
Exactly.
I was going to say, I think she introduced us to Rick and Morty.
To be fair,
I think
yes,
she
Jade
did.
did introduce me to Rick and Morty. Michelle's had to disappear, so I'll give her a plug. If you want to get in touch to book your next trip to Universal Orlando, her new agency is up and running. It is Portkey Vacations. Though I think the website probably is up and running. Again, pulling the curtain back of recording this way in advance. But if you want to get in touch with her email address is michelle@portkeyvacations.net. Okay, moving on. Michelle has disappeared, so there's just the four of us now. We are going to carry on clockwise around the park and move into the Lost Continent. Obviously not an IP when we talk about the theme itself.
This one's a difficult one because it is not the land it was. It's a fraction of the land it was. It's a
nowhere
stamp.
near the land it was.
In its current iteration, I'm not that much of a fan anymore. There's nothing that really holds me
other
there.
than mythos and Poseidon's Fury.
Yeah, which is barely open. There's nothing there.
Got a paint job.
What's barely open?
Poseidon's Fury.
It's open all the time.
Well, it is now, but it hasn't been for
It was closed for like 2 years.
Yeah. And that wasn't just COVID. You see, I'm torn here because I loved the entire land when it was, we had Sinbad and we had the Enchanted Oak Tavern and you had Merlin Walker. I love mythology and magic and anything like this.
Was that classed as 2 separate lands, though?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Was that Lost Continent and Merlin Wood?
No, but I think that was initially, and then it was combined. It was all...
because that doesn't make sense, because obviously Lost Continent's very Roman Greek mythology, and Merlin Wood was very sort of King Arthur, dragons and wizards and stuff.
That's a great point.
It is. Being quite honest, I think I have to say that this has had its time. It's not so timeless then, eh? It still has a magical beauty to it. But, I mean, I haven't been on Poseidon's Fury since it was refurbed.
Yeah, 2019 was the last time we did it.
So I don't really know whether there's what improvements have been made, if any.
Lighting and projections and stuff from what I can gather.
But it wasn't. It needed all the footage reshooting and everything.
I think it was dated 10 years after it opened.
I think it was dated 10 years before it opened. If I didn't go in there again, I wouldn't be gutted. Mythos is beautiful. The food's good, but it's not I have to go there. I don't feel a Lost Continent anymore, honestly. And I think that land, that area, the Mystic Fountain, please just relocate it though, because that is just genius. And I love watching kids get splattered in the face with water. But aside from that, it's just a corridor now.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a difficult land to separate the theme from the land itself. Is the land relevant? Like you said, no, it's not. But
the theme is amazing, and kids. It's educational. Educate kids on mythology and stuff, because it makes kids use their imagination as well, and kids don't do that anymore. If it's not electronic, they're not interested. Because let's face it, mythology these are our folk tales.
Yeah.
These are worldwide folk tales. This is how people told their stories, through stories of the stars and distant travellers and stuff like that. And it should be more than it is. So for me now, it's like, you know what? You've watered it down so much, just repurpose the land. Don't make it an expansion of Harry Potter. Make it something. It's a tiny footprint. Make it a pearl in its own shell.
It was always a strange decision to put Lost Continent in, because if you look at Islands of Adventure when it first opened, all the other lands were based off literature. So you had Marvel, comic books. You had Toon Lagoon, comic strips.
Yeah.
You had Jurassic Park, a book.
Mm-hmm.
You had Zeus, Dr. Zeus books. And then you had this weird anomaly of a land in the middle that wasn't really based on literature.
No, but
anyway.
they are books, and it is folklore.
As I say, I'm trying to separate the theme off from the fact that land just isn't relevant anymore.
You know from early on how much I loved this area.
I still love it as a theme, as a place to walk through, but that's it. You literally just walk
3 steps
through
and you're through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I really want to go to Docks of Grooves.
Yeah, me too.
But they even got rid of like the metal
coin
smith,
guy,
and all of that. And
no,
it's it's a watered down version of itself.
I suppose the best I can say is that the theme is kind of relevant, but the theme being relevant doesn't outweigh the fact that the land isn't.
It's still very photogenic, I have to say that.
I mean, what you would replace it with, I have no idea at this point. There was rumours for a long time, wasn't it, that it was going to be Zelda or Pokemon when the Nintendo thing came along.
Or get the Lord of the Rings coin jar from Ian.
Yeah, I think that
I mean-
suits a different land we might talk about shortly. Better.
With it though, I do say it's a small footprint, but I forget how much room Poseidon's Fury takes up.
Just that facade, that
Just
entrance
the front of it, which is never used.
No, it's so
and
weird.
also you've got the theatre, which has backstage areas as well. So there's actually, if they cleared it all out,
Oh no, that theatre serves a purpose. It's the extended queue for Hagrid's now.
yeah, but there is actually quite a lot of land that could be repurposed.
Yeah, it would actually be. I'd love to see that entire entryway and show building for Poseidon to see how big that area is. It's huge.
So, as people said, I think the theme itself, if you look at it aesthetically and visually, there's nothing wrong with it. But other than that, I haven't been in a while, but like, I can't remember anything to like point out, go like, oh, this ride or this like food place. There's nothing that I can remember, which my memory's terrible, but like if I can't remember it, then it means it's kind of poo if I can't remember it. But the concept of Greek mythology, I think, is definitely something that's relevant even now, especially with like, I'd say maybe 14 and up. If you take like my class, for example, in our class we had to do this theme for this art thing, and most people for their theme chose like some sort of Greek mythology or mythology, and it was just like most people chose it. So I think that kids definitely know about it.
They're aware of it.
And I don't know whether it's just because there's a bunch of like, you know, gay art students in a college that, you know, it makes them go, yes, Greek mythology, very nice. But like, you know, I think that a lot of people know about it, especially when you take like religions, for example, because like I'm pretty sure the Wicca religion is like based on Greek mythology. And because of TikTok, people obviously know about that. So I don't think it's things you have to educate people on because people already know about it. But I think they just did a bad job with it. Like, maybe not originally, but it's just kind of fell off a bit, to be honest.
That's exactly what it is. It's just, it's been swallowed up by the behemoth that is Harry Potter. And you can't blame them for wanting to take over from such. I mean, we're going to get on to Wizarding World in a minute, but to take over a land that wasn't as relevant as every other land in the park, even when it first opened. You certainly wouldn't go into Jurassic Park. You would push more into Lost Continent. Chris, I don't even know whether we've ever been into Islands of Adventure with you.
No, I don't think we have.
That's weird.
Yeah, because like the last time we're together was mainly
Studios,
Universal.
Yeah,
Studios, and then even when we didn't even see each other in the parks.
That's true.
No?
Yeah, you must have been there. You must have been there at Tracy's Zeus tour.
Because we're pretty sure we've got photos with the melted
I'd forgotten about that as
candy.
well.
Yes, I guess I was thinking like just hanging out kind of thing.
We will change that.
Yeah. So I have no idea your opinion on Lost Continent at all, to be honest.
So for me, I have, very, I want to say vivid memories of Lost Continent as it used to be. It was beautiful to see, especially the restaurant. I forgot the name of the restaurant with
Mythos.
Giant tree.
Oh no, the Enchanted
Enchanted
Oak.
Yeah.
The Enchanted Oak. I thought as a kid going to the parks, I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. I'm also, I like mythology and everything this land had to offer, right? As you said, the land is no longer a land. It's a little food court that you can walk through to get between Seuss and Harry Potter. And as it is now, they could change it to something else, honestly. It would suck to lose some of that, going back to nostalgic views of Poseidon and all that. But honestly, how much time do people really spend in that area? And
if you're queuing for Hagrid's a lot.
Yeah, that's very true. And I'm even thinking back on, when it was a full land, and I'm thinking how it would be today. I honestly don't know if it would hold up as a land today.
No, probably not.
Just because now, and I'm not knocking this, right? I loved all the little booths, the stands, the coin maker, all that stuff. I loved it. But really, it almost, if I think back on it, it just feels like a Ren Fest, a Renaissance festival.
Yeah.
And I love
why I
going to
liked
those
it.
too. But I don't think that would fit into today, like 2022. Like they would have to have done some major renovations, updated things, and just changed it. And that would be really difficult, trying to keep that theme that they have going on there. So I don't know, maybe it's just going through its transformation that it needed to do. Oh, but I, again, love the land, but if they wanted to retheme it into something else, I would. I'm trying to think what I would retheme it to.
Rick and Morty.
Every last Rick and Morty.
Like I say, it's just the more you start talking about Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, those two parks, the Lost Continent sticks out like a sore thumb because it is the only land that's not based on an IP.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a strange decision to put this land in that's not based on anything, and everything around it is.
Maybe it should have been called IPs of Adventure.
It's just weird, isn't it? It's a very strange...
Well, remember at this time too, it was, the theme parks were a different animal as well, right? Like right now, going forward, everything is, IP.
Mm.
And who's going to get the next coolest IP, and who's going to make the land, and, high level theming and all that.
Yeah.
When this was being made, there was still a lot of original stuff, happening over at Universal, over, down the road at the Rat Park. It wasn't the craziest thing to say, oh, let's just put an original idea here. They did it, with Port of Entry as well. They could have themed that too, but they didn't, do any IPs.
Yeah.
So it made sense at that time. It wouldn't make sense now.
No. I think the death knell was sounded when they, first of all, reconfigured Jewel and Dragons, and then took it out because that was a phenomenal ride.
It was.
Yeah.
This discussion's gone on way more.
You expect this to be quick,
yeah, we only got through 3 lands.
It's like, hi, have you met us?
And one of them was the entryway. Right, I think this one's going to be fairly easy. Moving around again, we hit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade. And this shouldn't take long, but I do have comments. Is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter relevant? Yes. J.K. Rowling has stabbed herself in the neck with all the comments that she's been doing later. So I think a lot of people have been... It's separating the art from the artist, as
Jade likes to say.
But I think Harry Potter is one of those things, like we've already mentioned with Lord of the Rings. I think it will always be...
This is a future classic. It's going to be timeless.
Relevant. As far as the land goes, relevance, I wish it was more based on the books than the movies. I think inevitably that's the one thing that will date it. We'll be riding for Forbidden Journey and seeing Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint and Michael Gambon and Emma Watson. That will be the thing that will date it. Other than that, I know so many people that visited that land having never seen the movies, never read the books, and fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So this kind of brings me to the comment right at the beginning of, just because it's not relevant pop culture-wise, does it still have a place in the park? And obviously it is relevant, but if you have a land that people just fall in love with because of how well themed it is and how much to that nth degree they've gone on the theming, will elevate it above the IP itself. I think there's a couple in studios we're going to talk about when we get onto there about that relevance. But I think Potter is relevant and always will be relevant.
All right,
Have you read the books?
I
I think I've read one of them to you when you were a little kid, didn't I?
She can't read.
I got the first book and read it over and over again and then just never progressed through it further. Yeah. So I'm gonna probably upset a lot of people, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Harry Potter.
I know.
It's not the idea of it that's the issue. You say, separate the art from the artist, and as much as that is good in theory, for me personally, it's kind of difficult to. It just, because of what J.K. Rowling has done, it puts a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and it kind of skews my vision of what Harry Potter is, which isn't anyone's fault. I don't think if you like Harry Potter, you're a bad person or anything like that. It's just, for me, I don't really like it because of her, but obviously it just depends on how you take it. But the theming's really good, especially, it's more than just an area of like aesthetics. It's also like the food fits the theme, the rides fit the theme, like everything all makes sense in the area. You have some places that might have a couple of themed foods and stuff like that, but it's only really specialty stuff. I won't say because they're like coming up next. I don't want to say it beforehand, but like, you know, because there's like a lot of stuff that links to it, it makes it more relevant. It makes it more just seem like a different world rather than just a different area in a park. So I'd say it's relevant, but it is kind of old by my standards because like, I don't know, like 10 years old.
What, the land or the books or the
books, the movies?
The books came out. I think the first one came out in like 1999.
That's kind of old. Just not old as in like old, but like old as in, you know, older than me, which isn't really that old. But you know, it's coming on a bit. So
bloody millennials.
It is slightly
know
old,
that
but I
she's
don't
one.
think that makes a difference. I think something can be old and still be enjoyed or be relevant. And you know, as you said before, someone can go in and not read the books and not read, like, you know, watch the movies and stuff and still enjoy it because it is a very aesthetically pleasing place with like a really solid theme.
Shall I tell you the buzzword? The buzzword that you should have used there. It's because it's immersive.
Yeah.
Chris, for someone who hasn't
Yeah.
read the books, even though I've barked at him for about the last 5 years to do so.
Chris can't read either.
I do not know how to read at all.
These Dr. Seuss books.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably rip this land out. What would I retheme it with? I don't know. Jaws.
Shut your face.
Yes, I'm backing Chris.
No. This is a quick one. I haven't read the books. I've seen all the movies multiple times. I've discussed the books with a bunch of friends, Alexa, you know, and I love everything about that storyline. The newer one, not so much. And this land is perfect-ish. It's kind of what set standards on what theming was going to look like moving forward in theme parks.
Absolutely.
Hell yes.
It's that if it wasn't for Hogsmeade, you don't get Pandora, you don't get Galaxy's Edge.
Nope.
Simple as.
Yep.
This was the land that changed the way theme parks started
Absolute
doing
game changer.
immersive themed lands.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, you know, it's I wouldn't take this land and change it for anything. In fact, I always tell people, you know, whenever we're having a discussion and it goes into, you know, areas, and then if, you know, Jaws gets brought up, stuff like that. Yeah, Jaws was a phenomenal ride. Rode it every time I was at the park. Loved it. But if you're going to rip something out, you'd have to replace it with something that's next level, that, you know, that people that even are fans of Jaws go, yeah, but look what we got in its place. And I think this land hits it on the money. So yeah, thumbs up, keep it around. Wouldn't change it.
Thomas, get in touch and let me know if you echo Chris's sentiments, by the way.
There is a shark head in there though. So
Well, let's just start off with magic. I mean, really, it's completely unbelievable. So, you know, it's not relevant. As somebody who has read the books, watched the movies, read the books, watched the movies, read the books, watched the movies. Yeah, immersive is the only word for this. I mean, even down to the like the manhole covers are themed. Where you sit is themed. I mean, hell, in the owlery, there is even bird, and I'm pretty sure some of it's actually real. You walk into that land and you have no problem at all believing that you are in like with Port of Entry, it is alive.
Well, apart from the fact that there's snow on the roofs and it's like 40 degrees.
Look, I'm English. I can quite easily believe that. There's snow everywhere here, all year round. But it's like you cannot see out of that land. You are in there and you are in there.
To a certain extent. The Diagon Alley took it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're in Hogsmeade. You know, it's everything. Every door handle. Every nook and cranny. And I've been down the nooks and crannies. Even the toilets, the restrooms are... It's just Mona Myrtle's in there. I don't think she's in the men's. Never been in the men's. Never going in the men's because, ooh.
She is.
She is dirty girl. I like her. But even your team members are next level immersive with the way they interact with you.
Not as much as they
Not
used
as much
to
as they
be,
used
but
to be.
okay.
That's sad. And you have the other levels where there are times when there's like Death Eaters milling in the crowd, and it's just like that's like mini Halloween Horror Nights
They
happening.
need to
and
do
it's just-
something Halloween Horror Nights. It would be amazing.
Well, maybe that'll change now with the RGB
Maybe.
changes. But like Jade said, it's so immersive. The food,
Yeah.
even down to the drinks,
Yeah.
you cannot buy branded products.
I love that. I love that you can't buy a
No.
Coke in there. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Which suits me because I'm a Pepsi girl anyway.
But then this is the thing where, so Jade, you talked about not liking J.K. Rowling because of things, but the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for her, because she had her hands were all over it of wanting it to be a certain way. You will not serve Coke products.
No,
You
there was
cannot buy
no
this.
bending.
So it's
Yeah, but it's even little things like you go and buy not a Hinky Puff, not a Jigglypuff. That's a Pokemon.
a pygmy puff.
A Pygmy Puff. I knew it was some sort of puff, not a matcha green tea puff either. So yeah, so you buy one of those. You don't just buy it. There's a whole ceremony, and you name it there, and then it's held aloft like Simba. Apparently, because I missed hours.
I know you're still bitter over it. It was Eric's fault. I'll blame him.
It was your fault. Anyway, it's things like this as well, because any of the other lands, I don't know this happens. It's
Galaxy's Edge, I think they do a lot of crap with lightsabers and stuff.
here in Universal I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, no.
And it is the whole experience. Do I want more of it? No, I think with the two areas we have enough, because otherwise we are just going to end up with an entire Harry Potter park, which I'm not against, but it should have been done initially.
Well, Epic Universe.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about within the parks itself.
Okay.
Don't want an expansion
No, I
of
don't think you'll get any
Hogsmeade.
more.
Don't want an expansion of Diagon Alley. I think they are enough as they
I
are.
think you might get one of Diagon Alley. I think that Fear Factor stage might go and something might go
Mystery
in
and
there.
Magic is what we're hearing, isn't it? But yeah, I'm waffling now. Yeah, Hogsmeade, relevant, keep it, like it.
I don't think you can say anything else. It's timeless because of that whole wizard. This is where the whole Lord of the Rings rumor doesn't make sense to me, because it's very similar to Potter.
It precedes Potter by a couple of years.
Yeah, but
just a
it's-
few years.
I'm not. But I'm not. I do get that, but it's still. You don't want to put something in
Samey.
that's kind of the same.
Yeah. I don't think it's
I think they could sit
as
side by
similar as what you're
side.
saying.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Anyway,
I think it could sit side by side.
continuing round the park, about to throw Jade under the bus. We are moving into Jurassic Park.
Under the Dinobus.
This is an interesting land, actually, because this land has evolved over the last few years. Jade, Jurassic Park.
So, Jurassic Park, is it relevant? Kinda not. Like, there was like a new movie that came out.
Was there?
of the
Really?
Jurassic one.
Like about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't see it because I don't like Jurassic stuff.
She is
what
not
do
my
I
child.
like?
Nothing.
Not dinosaurs, Jurassic stuff.
I think dinosaurs are cool. I think anyone can like dinosaurs and go through there and think it's cool. I don't think you have
Thanks for
to
permission.
read the books. Or is there books?
Yes.
Watch the movies.
It's the books. They are some of the best books ever written.
Andy, I do apologise for our child, because I know you're
Please.
listening to us. Say, wait till I see her in September.
Yeah. And honestly, please raise your child better.
Apologies for how uneducated I am, clearly. So,
Wow.
you don't have to have watched the movies and read the books or anything like
Wait, I've
that.
got a question. Have you even got a favourite dinosaur?
I like the vegetarian one.
Wait, no.
Is it bad?
No, is it bad that you can't even name it? You haven't got everybody's got a favourite dinosaur.
The Stegosaurus.
Is
that's
that
definitely
because
the
the only
veggie
one you can
one.
think of?
No, the raptor.
That's not
That is
veggie.
not veggie.
The
A raptor actually is just
Anyway.
a group, but we will have words later, child.
All right.
My goodness, have I raised this badly?
There is also, I'm pretty sure there's themed foods. Didn't they have that like blue summit?
Churro.
Yeah, the blue churro, and like they had this like jelly thing. It was on like a video because I
was
watched videos.
in the tribute store.
Yeah,
It was the amber.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was it like a timed thing or
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, it's
year-round?
limited edition.
Yeah, but you know, like not everything is themed. I don't think. I'm pretty sure you can just buy like plain water there, but there are some.
Yeah, there's no like
things-
Jurassic water because that'd be rank.
I
They do.
mean,
They do have their own Isla Nubla IPA over there, like. But yes, I agree with
They
Jade.
do.
You know that Jesus. Do you not listen to this show?
I'm not Jesus.
It's not like Hogsmeade where
Is it
everything
new, though?
like, it's about a year.
Oh, so that's why I
Fairly
haven't.
new.
So that's why I haven't had it then. That's
Yeah, you
fine.
haven't had
Okay,
it.
that's why I don't have an
Yeah, there's
opinion
You have
yet.
to have a few then.
There's
Oh,
nothing
definitely.
so obviously I haven't been to the parks in a while, so I'm not sure about
3 years.
the other parks and stuff.
Yes.
But I know that Jurassic Park is one of those ones where you can take pictures with, you know, animatronics or just general people. And, well, I
Not
mean,
general people, because
you'd-
people tend.
You'd hope dinosaurs, but, you know, there is sometimes some randos
No, they're just
in
old
there.
people.
I just take pictures of
The
people
look
in
I've
parks.
just got.
So, like, because you have social media and stuff, people take pictures and put it online. They take pictures of their own bums and stuff, so, you know, anything goes.
Where the hell's this going?
But, like, you know,
Jade's only fan address.
it's relevant to pop culture and, you know, social stuff because people can take pictures and post it online, and, you know, that's all people want to do. Also, Universal made it. So, you know, I think it's pretty representative of Universal as a whole because they made it and it's cool and, you know, it looks nice and has a specific smell to it. And, you know, you sniff all the way around. It's good.
Well, then, apparently Jurassic Park should stay because it smells nice.
And you can take pictures of old people.
And the bums.
Yes. I think this land is a fantastic representation of, no pun intended, but evolution
Mhm.
of a land, right?
Yeah.
When the park first opened, it was a fantastic land. I loved it, especially going to the Discovery Center. You can almost recreate certain scenes from the original movies. It almost felt like Universal Studios where, you know, you're living the movies, right? So they did a really good job on all that. But then over the years, it did kind of start to lack. And, you know, little additions here and there. Obviously, the biggest being Velocicoaster, which we've discussed this on previous episodes,
Yeah.
that it has transformed it and could bump it up on a ranking from near the bottom to almost the top, basically. So, you know, I don't think, you know, the IP itself is obviously it's relevant because they just came out with some more movies. Whether those were accepted or not is a whole different story, but that doesn't really matter, right? You can have a land that, and this is deviating a little bit, but you can have a land that maybe isn't the most pop culture thing or the most well accepted pop culture thing, but as long as it does its job well as a land,
Exactly.
then it's a fantastic land. And that, you know, go look at Pandora, you know, down the street. Nobody cared about Avatar they did when it first came out, but
For a
we
week.
brought Pandora out and it's a very well accepted land.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And same thing with, and I love talking about this land all the time because I'd love to see it one day, but what is it? Waterworld, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And how old is that?
Yeah.
And they just made an entire land out of that.
Yep.
And it's, you know, and I'm pretty sure you can ask a lot of people what Waterworld is and they will not know what it is.
Nope.
But put them in that land and they'll be like, this is really cool.
Mhm.
And that's the point. I think the,
'Cause Andy made
you know, the
Yeah.
the immersiveness, the kind of, you know, getting you out of your head and into this is a world we're showing you right now. Enjoy it. So no, I wouldn't change the IP here because I think the land does a pretty good job at that. I think kind of how Jade said, right? Like Universal, that's kind of one of their babies. And the fact that, you know, it's not timeless, but it kind of is in my view, just because I grew up on them. So I think it has a lot of lasting power. The IP itself.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, greenery, photogenic.
Mhm.
I'm in. Everybody knows how much I love this area. It might not be. I mean, obviously we've got Velocicoaster now, which we haven't ridden. It might not be the most excited ride-wise, especially with one that you have to abduct a small child to go and ride.
Sam Nash, we're looking at you.
Yeah, we are borrowing Little Joey, especially since I'm his favourite now.
Yeah, I need to borrow somebody.
Yeah. Or we can just shrink Jade down a bit. But I still always loved this land because it's so green as well, it's refreshing. It feels, for all it's hot and it's still humid most of the year, it feels cooler because you're in.
I think a lot of people might disagree with you there. But
mentally, it hits differently because it's so lush and it's so green. It's relaxing, even though dinosaurs and we won't go into the point that it's called Jurassic World, but there's a lot of Cretaceous period stuff in there because that's just the nerdy facts. Anyway, it still makes me like a giddy kid every time I go in. I love it. It's educational without being in your face. The Discovery Centre, even down to, we all know, Jade, please block your ears. We all know they're not real dinosaurs hatching. Shh. Sorry, Jade, just devastated her.
They are. Andy, don't listen to her either.
But it's so immersive that you do believe it on some level, and I think it's relevant not just because of the new movies, but the educational side of things. Dinosaurs are there, not obviously walking around now because cautionary tale from the movies. They're a part of global history. There isn't a continent that didn't have dinosaurs. There are lessons to be learned. I just love dinosaurs. I'm a nerd. I don't care. Sue me.
I mean, going off the initial question of, is it relevant?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Of course it is. The newest Jurassic World Dominion came out within the last month. So if that doesn't make it pop culturally relevant, then I don't know what does.
Although I do want to see an addition to the lagoon, please.
The Mosasaur.
Absolutely.
I would like to see them change the river adventure out to the one from Hollywood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, it's relevant because those movies are still coming out. And to be fair, I really like the new ones.
Did you see Dominion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I wanted to see a lot more dinosaurs in cities and stuff like we got for that first half, and a lot less sort of sciencey thing at the end. I was a bit disappointed. I wanted to see
all
more
know why you like it.
More of the... Anyway.
Did I?
But Jurassic Park, I think, that movie when it came out, broke all sorts of box office records and stuff. And that was, 30 years ago? So, is it relevant?
And it still holds up.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't particularly like it, to be fair. But, yeah, it's as relevant as it's ever going to be. It's as relevant now as it was probably when that opened. And like you said, Chris, the evolution of it is that they've allowed it to be even more pop culturally relevant by... I kind of like the fact now that they've molded Jurassic World into it rather than just making the decision of, right, we're just going to change it into Jurassic World. I like the fact that you've got the old and the new because it kind of screams to Jurassic World because the old Discovery Centre's there when you watch the first Jurassic World. So I kind of like that it's got that amalgamation of the old and the new. But then just taking the IP out of it, dinosaurs, they're always relevant. Kids, what boy didn't grow up? I mean, girls to a certain extent, but I'm saying for the most part, it was like little boys were all about dinosaurs, weren't they?
And now everybody's about dinosaurs. Well, Jade and I went fossiling the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's technically the same thing, isn't it? So just from an aesthetic point of view, it will be something that even if you don't know the movies, you probably still get a kick out of again.
Everybody's got a favourite dinosaur, whether they deny it or not. And
then throwing in, I'll be honest, we used to walk through, it wasn't a land I liked when we first started visiting because there was out there. You did River Adventure once. When the first time we went with the kids, you'd do Pteranodon Flies because it was the only time you could get on it. And then other than that, you were walking through to elsewhere.
I remember I was always trying to get you to slow down because it is, I think because as a rule, dinosaurs are slow and lumbering unless the raptors are similar, are chasing you, which doesn't happen, thankfully, in there. it is a change of pace, and that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
convey with the green lushness of it. You just chill for a bit when you're passing through there.
But I know we haven't been there since Velocicoaster opened. Chris, you can speak to this more. But I just feel like adding that in, they've been very savvy.
Yeah.
So having those Raptor paddock look-throughs into the ride itself, that new entranceway down by the lagoon in front of the back entrance to the Discovery Centre, and how well that's set up with the mosasaur roll and the top hat just adds so much more dynamics to that land. It's
It injected life into that land. You know, it's insane. Just standing there, just watching that roll happen, and you're just so many people there, but not in a crowded way. It's just a fantastic use of space they did.
Yep, I think it's probably the second most relevant land in that park right now. To be fair,
I agree.
There's one we're going to get onto. It could be an interesting conversation. Anyway, moving on to a land that isn't really a land, but I have to include it. And
It's a pocket.
Skull Island. It's not really an island, but it says it's an island.
Yeah,
so
well, it is because it's got food, it's got
a ride,
souvenirs, and a ride. So there's a land and a bathroom. Skull Island. I thoroughly enjoy this land. This pocket of land. The IP itself, because that's what we're talking about. It's nothing, crazy. Kong. Everybody knows Kong, right? That's also been around for years. Yeah, forever, right? Black and white movies had him in there. So it's been for a while. While it may not be the most pop culture thing out there, this is another example of using, a great use of space, because it's a tiny sliver of space, but they put in there a very immersive ride. I enjoy it very much, and I don't think anybody comes off that ride not enjoying it. It's such a nice ride to go on, a little different. So yeah, I wouldn't change out Kong for anything. I don't know what you could put there that could use up the space as well as it does. Obviously you could put anything, but I think what they did with Kong there, I think it's a great use of an IP inside of that land, and separating it how they did. I think it's something that can stay there, and I think it's something that can have some lasting power as well, because it's not really based on any specific thing.
No.
And the characters that are used in there, kind of going back to what you said about Potter, where they're using the actual characters that everybody's associated with, so it can age them, right? They're young there, whereas the characters used here are, I don't want to say nobodies, but they're just characters, right? Yeah. They're characters in a storytelling environment, and you don't have to know them, and they can get older and you wouldn't know.
They just created their own characters for the ride.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it has a lot of lasting power there. And obviously it's, whether you've ever seen Kong or not, a young kid can go on Kong, have never seen a movie, and I think enjoy it, because that was super cool to watch, that kind of thing. So, I would keep it.
Sam's Joy is the prime example, isn't he? He went on it. They took him 5 times to get on it. There's only 3, bless him, when they went over last month. And he's like constantly going around beating his chest now. And I'm Kong. Yeah. So it proves your point.
Yeah. It's like, 10 steps across this land? It's
not the biggest, is it? Let's be honest.
No, but they've packed a lot in. They've made it count. You walk in and the atmosphere is different. It looks different. Obviously it's similar to Jurassic Park, but it's similar anywhere, which is why they put it where they did, because it just moves naturally into Jurassic Park. I like this micro island. It's it's fun. I think it's relevant.
That's what we're talking about.
I know. I think it's relevant because people do like it. As I've said, Kong has been around forever. Decades.
It's like the 30s or something, the first Kong
so,
film.
Yeah.
I want to say 1937.
It's been translated across to like your Japanese Godzilla versus Kong and stuff like that. It's been in culture globally for decades. So to give it this, because we were talking about the movie earlier, and I was like, honestly, I have very little recollection of it. You would tell me who's in it, and I'm going,
Oh, Skull Island, yeah.
yeah, and I'm going, Tom Hiddleston was in it?
I watched it.
Really?
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Brie Larson, Sam Jackson. I mean, it's got a cast.
Yeah, and I'm just... Yeah, no, brain fart. It has evaporated from my memory.
I watched it not that long ago again, to be fair.
But the fact that they are making new movies based on it, the ride itself is really good. It's, you know, you get that right spot in that truck and you're going to have a phenomenal ride. It's really clever. And, you know, I've got to the point where I watch it and I look behind us to see the transitions and stuff like that because, you know, I'm a nerd and I like to see how things work. But yeah, I think it's relevant because we've got new movies coming out. It's introducing people to it. And you know me, I like the classic stuff. And if this makes people go back and watch the original as well, even better. So I think it's relevant and expand it.
So basically, again, we're looking at, is King Kong relevant? And I think it's relevant in two different ways because, again, like how long ago did Kong versus Godzilla come out? Like was it last year? I still haven't seen it.
No, last year, the year before.
Yeah, me neither. I think it was
recent.
2 years ago.
Yeah. So again, you've got that like with Godzilla and then with Skull Island, Godzilla and then King of Monsters and then this coming out that they're trying to kick off this sort of Monsters universe thing. And they seem to have gone down relatively well. But then also it's relevant from a history point of view of Universal Orlando or just Universal. You think of Kong being there in Hollywood and then Kongfrontation being where the Mummy is now at Universal Studios Florida, that then bringing Kong back into the parks makes it relevant from a long-standing visitor's point of view as well. But again, even without the IP, it's a massive big gorilla thing. Like, who doesn't want to see that? It's awesome. Again, with dinosaurs and stuff, it doesn't necessarily need to have the IP attached to it for people to go in and enjoy what it is. And I think I agree with you, Chris. It was a great use of that space. I'll be honest, I can't even remember what was there before it now. It must have just been a blank
I think it was just like part of the path.
I think it's just trees.
So Universal proving again how well they can use tiny plots of land to put in an attraction that generally has a large wait time. I think it's got.
It's also just to add to that, what you were saying about the IP itself is, you think of that, black and white Kong, and this is also a Universal property.
Yes,
in a sense.
Yeah. So
it's nice to have more of that in the parks.
You say I often wonder why Kong isn't classed as a classic monster.
Because I think the classic monsters are more like the horror things, whereas Kong wasn't.
You're telling me that
I'd be
a 40-foot
if I saw this
gorilla
thing coming at me.
is terrific.
To be fair, yeah.
I'd rather take on Dracula or the Wolfman, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, better odds.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it has a lot of longevity. Like you say, Kong's been around for 80, 90 years at this point. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be relevant for another 40 or 50.
All right. So mentioned before about like the movies and stuff. So therefore, it's relevant. But if you think of it as like it's quite small, but there's a lot of stuff packed in. So if you're just walking through, say like the queue or something, you'll find a lot of smaller things, a lot of hidden details that are quite interesting. So even if you haven't watched the film or any of that or don't know anything, you'll find like smaller hidden stories which can definitely be interesting. So it doesn't have to be 100% relevant because you can figure out the story along the way as well as other things. I think it's definitely an interesting place. The fact that they managed to mush all that into a smaller area, I think like it follows along from Jurassic Park, it's really cool that they did that because, it just kind of blends in. It feels one.
Like an extension of.
Yeah, it's like, obviously it's different and, it is a different theme and stuff, but the fact that it blends in, it makes it feel bigger than it is, which is something you need for such a small area.
Yeah.
I think it could be extended, definitely, but with how small it is, I don't think anyone could be disappointed because there's so much in that area to look at. But I think it is relevant. No one has to know who Kong is to be able to enjoy a big monkey,
No, exactly. That's what I said. And it's one of those, this is what annoys me about Islands of Adventure not being open as late as it should be, because that at night is a
beautiful,
stunning attraction. Like
with
just
the
from the
torches and
outside.
everything.
And then, Chris, if you rode it at night,
Yes.
it's so much better.
It with the flames
Yes.
on the outside. I mean, it
And
just
if you get the outdoor portion as
completely
well.
different.
Yeah, it's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. I think
Much better at night.
that
Plus, your eyes are also adjusted, so
Yeah,
you can enjoy it a little
exactly.
bit more.
And you know, the ride itself is a romp. It's the best bus ride on property.
I mean, Jade hit a great point
I didn't bite.
about telling the story as well, because like I kind of made me think of Horror Nights, because how many people know the backstories of those houses when you go through, but those houses tell you a story. You're trying to cram a story in a 6-minute walk through a house. Kong does a good job at that as well.
Yeah. There's only one thing that will make the ride better, and that's a bus
Party at the
sandwich.
A bus sandwich,
Yeah.
Chris, did you hear that?
She is absolutely correct.
Right.
Particularly a breakfast bus sandwich.
Yes.
But yes.
We move on to our penultimate land, and I
Ooh.
think this is, I was going to say it's divisive, it bloody isn't at all. I think this is the easiest one. We are going to move on to Toon Lagoon.
How do you spell irrelevant? You could go out and ask the younger generation, of which, you know, obviously there's only one below me, who any of those characters are, and maybe they would tell you who Popeye was.
This is where Jade's going to come in.
Because, I mean, also there's the US, UK, and rest of the world divide as well, because we didn't get Beetle Bailey, so we don't know who that is. Hagar, I vaguely remember from the comic strip in a newspaper. Marmaduke, the same, but I think we got it on the TV, but I actually think it was a mistake because we had our own series called Marmaduke.
Heathcliff was the one I
But
remember
there was
more.
Heathcliff, yeah. Obviously, Popeye, we know.
Yes.
I grew up with a little bit of Dudley Do-Right, but you don't remember.
Because you watched it, you bought the Brendan Fraser
Yeah.
movie and watched it with the kids.
Yeah,
I never watched
I
it.
got it for like £1. It's a great area. It's colourful. It's vibrant. It's got a lot of energy to it. I mean, what I was saying in the car the other day, who the hell's Kathy? Apart from she sells ice cream.
I mean, it's good ice cream as well, to be fair.
It's Ben and Jerry's. It's okay. Because I don't
And
even have the decent...
Kathy's.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but they have vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. Wow. Where's the Monster? Where's the Cherry Garcia? Where's the decent flavours? Anyway, back to Toon Lagoon. It has a couple of cool things. I mean, I love the thought bubbles and the speech bubbles.
Yes.
I love having fun with those. There are some great gags. It's a comic book. There are comic book gags. These are brilliant. But relevancy? There really isn't any. Those gags could be there without it being comic book themed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad because there are elements, but that land could be very, very, very easily rethemed. Keep Dudley Do-Right, retheme it to something else. Keep Popeye and Bluto, retheme it to something else. What else is there in there? Food places.
Nout. My Ship the Olive is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the theming here, not
and
so much the rides, right?
It's,
Well, the IP, what
The
it's
IP,
based
yeah,
on.
that
Yeah.
one.
when was the last time? Because it's probably the most popular out of everything. When was the last time that Popeye was on the TV?
Like I say, we talked about it yesterday, didn't we? The Robin Williams film from like the 80s.
That's probably the last time that there was anything new done with Popeye. I don't recall anything new. I mean, it's like Wimpy. As a kid, I didn't get the gag. As an adult, I get the gag about
I'll pay you next Wednesday.
buy a hamburger, yeah, and all of that. But as a kid, I didn't
Because he
get
had
it.
no money, he was tight
But
as a duck.
Nobody'll
that.
nobody'll know. Younger than us will know the relevancy of gags like that. It's just, sadly, it needs it. That needs to be the next land that's rethemed.
Right, let's just put it to bed now. It is not relevant. And to be fair, I don't even think it was relevant when it opened.
Those
I
were
know
very
from
I was
dated
going to say that.
cartoons.
Nope.
from the stories that we've heard from the likes of Jim Hill and stuff, they were literally scratching round for characters to fill that land out weeks before it opened. But as a land,
Maybe if it had been cartoons like Garfield and stuff like that, they were very relevant.
The problem is comic strips aren't a thing now.
Newspapers generally aren't a thing now.
And that's
Everything's online.
That's what decreases its relevancy.
So
straight
what you're
away.
saying is it needs to be TikTok land.
I mean, you could do that, or
Ooh.
Instagram land. So, Jade,
Oh, how about Rick and Morty?
yeah,
What
come
a
here.
brand new idea.
How many of these characters
Yeah,
have you
right.
heard of? Do you know who Hagar the Horrible is?
No.
Do you know who Beetle Bailey is?
No.
Do you know who the Phantom is?
Oh, for God's
No.
Do you know who... Is it Marmaduke the dog?
sake. Marmaduke.
No.
Do you know who Popeye is?
Well, I know that one, but like everyone knows that one. But I don't know the story behind it. I just know like
He eats
the
spinach.
symbol, I guess.
Do you know who Dudley Do-Right is?
Again, heard of him. Not really sure about the story behind it.
Do you know Betty Boop?
Oh, for God.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But she's more on the other side.
I mean, there's so many more in there that I don't know, so I can't even
No.
comment. There's no discussion to be had. It is not relevant. Not in the slightest. Is it a cool land? Yeah, it's got two of probably my favourite water rides in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just in that park, in Orlando. But the theme... but then you go argue, so can you still go in and enjoy those rides if you don't know who those characters are?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you probably could.
They are two generic rides, really. It's a flume ride. I mean, it's a hell of a flume ride. And a... what are the things called? A raft
Rapids.
ride. Raft ride.
Yeah.
They're 10 a penny.
See, the ideal replacement would be Lord of the Rings, or Hobbit, sorry,
Waterworld.
because you could change one of those water rides out to the... I'm watching The Hobbit when they all jump in the barrels when they
I would
escape from the
I would
elves.
kill
It's
for
like, oh my
barrels.
God, that would go... But
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to change Toon Lagoon into something more dark and gritty, because I like the fact that it's
fun,
bright
yeah.
and fun, and there's so much kinetic energy there with water sprays and
So-
stuff there, so I don't know what you would change
bring
it
in
with.
bring in new current cartoons.
I mean, Bikini Bottom's the ideal replacement
well, all the
for
water
it,
and
to
everything.
be honest. Jade,
You know,
Toon Lagoon?
yeah. Wimpy's become, or whatever it's called, becomes Krusty Krab.
Well, I feel like I've
the
been
chum bucket.
sabotaged. Yeah, I wasn't told about Toon Lagoon, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say. But I don't think it's relevant, but I don't think it needs to be. I think, as the mother said, it can be changed to something else, but still, like, keep the water rides, keep all that sort of stuff, but change the theme of it, and it would, work better. Take Lost Continent, right? The theme is great, but everything else is kind of poo. So... like, the problem with that is it doesn't have any sort of interaction, but Toon Lagoon does. Like, you have all the rides and the food and the places to take pictures to post on your Instagram or whatever, but then you also have, like, you can shoot water at people and stuff. So
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
she's evil, that's why.
the interaction is good. It's just the theme that isn't. So I think that if you weren't going to change it, it wouldn't be as big of a deal because the interaction is still there that makes it better than it actually is.
Okay, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Rather than change it just for the sake of changing it, keep it as it is.
Update it.
Because there's a lot, like, what kids don't like running through water sprays and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
our two did it at bloody Gatorland
Well-
for about half an hour.
I'm already thinking, from their first trip, all the photos that we've got from there. Guess what you're doing this trip?
Yeah.
You're
Repeating
recreating
them.
all of those photos.
But yeah, so basically the
Yeah.
answer is no, it is not relevant, not in any way, shape or form. But that doesn't mean that land still can't exist. Would we like to see it updated to something else? Of course, just to make it relevant. But it doesn't have to be to still want to go and spend time in there, because there is a lot of reason to go and spend time in there.
Because when you think about it, the people who are going to visit there and be nostalgic about it are older than us. It's our parents' generations. People who are in like the 70s
Yeah,
and
I'm going to be
80s.
riding Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls.
Well, there might be. There are some cool people out there.
Yeah, I think when it had first opened, I kind of think it was outdated, but we're assuming that we're talking as if this was a kids area or a kids land. And it really isn't. It has some water aspects in there, but it's not a kids
No,
land.
you're right.
No,
The
it's
same way
not.
like Seuss is, or
Yeah.
the same way like Kid Zone is. This is actually an adult area. So trying to comprehend how and why they did this land, I'm thinking they were hitting or trying to hit a demographic that was not kids, a little bit older. So they probably grew up on some of these things. I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. Completely outdated right now, right? As it is. But the two rides that are there, the both Doodly Doo Right, like I grew up watching Rocky and Bullwinkle, Doodly Doo Right, all that stuff. And I grew up watching Popeye, two of my favorite cartoons growing up. And those were before my time, but they would play on whatever, maybe it was Nickelodeon or something at that time. I don't know what it was, but they would play there. And I loved these characters. And I think it's because my dad would make me watch this.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things, but I really enjoyed them. So I love those two rides. It hurts to say, like, you know, retheme it, because I would feel a little bit of a loss losing a Popeye ride and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's overall, like you were mentioning some of the names earlier, even to Jade, right? And you're saying, oh, well, maybe in the States it's different. Like they would know. I had no clue who you were talking about. And when I was typing them in, I'm like, oh, that guy. Yeah, the army guy, have no clue. I've never seen a show with him.
Wow.
And if I did, I blacked it out.
Yeah.
Not to say it's bad. The only two characters that I have any connection to there are Popeye and like Dudley Do Right.
Yeah.
But the other ones I didn't even know. And, you know, I'm not old, but I'm not young. I'm like kind of in the middle. I'm mid.
Yeah.
You say you're middle-aged, Chris. Is that what you're saying?
He's not middle-aged.
Sure.
I'm not middle-aged yet, so he's not. Maybe,
Thanks,
if you want to... Welcome. If you want to keep with, like...
She's only buttering you up for tackies, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Love you, Chris. Anyway, so it's... Where was I going? If you want to keep with that sort of, like, cartoon, hand-drawn sort of theme, what's really hot at the moment? Manga and anime?
Rick and Morty.
Maybe we've already, you weren't listening. We've already said that. You know, maybe that's where you go next, is because that's hot property.
Well, they've got stuff over. What is it over in Japan? At Universal.
Oh no, Attack on Titan, isn't it? Oh, Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they've got that over in Japan. I wonder if something like that would work.
But there's lighter manga.
I don't think it's generalized enough, to be honest with you.
You know,
and that's coming from somebody who loves anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you pick up on, there are some that are younger generation. Like I like Full Metal Alchemist. That would suit a younger. Was that what was that noise?
Oof.
Oh, that was me saying like oof.
Is that a good or a bad? Oof.
Good. Love that show.
You know, so that you could retheme using these things, and you're introducing people. Then the relevancy is it's current. So people who don't understand it and don't know it, it's there for them to go out and explore because it's there. It's still developing.
Yeah.
And so you could.
And there's a wealth of back catalogue to go in there
hell
and
of
look
a
at
lot,
as well.
You know, and it's for all ages. And you know, if you want it, there's manga of it. It's like, what is it on the internet? Rule 34, something that Jade told me about. A face there.
I was some shock that what?
But not denying it. You know, just thinking outside the box, that would be something different that's not in the Asian parks.
DC. Anyway.
I mean, there's that. Oh yeah, forget we've got all those comic books as well.
So,
what did I go?
Finally, we reach our final land. This is an interesting one, I think. And that is Marvel's Superhero Island. Because if you go just off its core premise, is Marvel relevant? Yes, it's probably more relevant now than it's ever been in its history. But Marvel Superhero Island isn't based off that. They've kind of tried to update some of the costumes. I think Cap's costume, I think, was brought up to look more like Chris Evans. But other than that, it's such a strange one because my thoughts on it are, if you've got kids who have grown up watching, so say a 10, 11, 12-year-old who've grown up watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, all of that, and then they walk into Marvel Superhero Island and go, what the hell's this?
This is the Wish version. The AliExpress version.
And my thinking is it's only going... So I kind of am going to say it's not relevant. It is and it isn't. It's a difficult one. But it's only going to get less relevant when in 2 or 3 years' time, however long it is, when the Marvel Cinematic Universe welcome in the Fantastic Four. Because the main characters that Marvel Superhero Island's based off is the Hulk, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty did Marvel get X-Men? Is the rumors that they're supposed to be coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Chris, or not?
Yeah, they bought Fox.
Okay. So over the next 5 to 10 years, everything in Marvel Superhero Island is going to be part of Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe. So is it relevant? Yes. But is there going to be a weird point where, like you say, you take your kids to go and meet Spider-Man? It's like, hang on, that's not Spider-Man. What the hell's that? But are the rides awesome? I love Doctor Doom. It's short. The Hulk's still one of the best coasters in Orlando. Spider-Man's still rated one of the best attractions in the world. But is the theme relevant? I'm interested to hear what you guys say. Do you want to wait a little bit? Or are you happy to go next? I think Jade's point of view from this could be very interesting, actually, because you've really grown up on those Marvel movies as well.
So I don't think it's relevant at all. Most of the heroes or villains are quite old. I know that like Spider-Man isn't old, especially because they redid him, but as much as I love Spider-Man, it is all old school Marvel rather than newer. Like even when I first went through it, there's like this would you say billboard of like on, I think it's on like the left hand side of like a bunch of characters just running or something. I don't know. There's lots of like billboards and stuff, isn't there?
It will be, are you thinking about the Fantastic Four above Cafe 4, the restaurant, like near where the Hulk is, where the bathrooms are?
Yeah, but there's also like the lightning one.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Oh,
there's,
you mean the
X-Men
Yeah,
Storm.
you talk about all the big character. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
so there's a lot of them. And when I was younger, even now, I don't even know who they are, which is kind of disappointing. But like, if I don't know who they are, then would a kid that's younger know who they are? Probably not. It's very old school. And there's not that much there if you think about it. If you think like, Spider-Man and the Hulk, and that's kind of it.
Doctor Doom.
There's 4 rides in that
And
land. I
Storm
think you'll
Force
find in
Acceleron.
that land, there's more rides there than probably in... Right, so there's 4 in there. There's 2 in Toon Lagoon. There's 1 in Skull Island. There's 3 in Jurassic Park. There's 3 in Hogsmeade. There's 1 in Lost Continent. And there's 4. So it's joint with Zeus Landing as the area with the most rides in it.
So I don't even know what I was going to say now. Jeez, talking too much.
It is my bloody podcast, you know.
So I didn't even know who Doctor Doom was. I don't think you need to know who they are to be able to enjoy the rides and stuff. But, if you have a thing on Marvel, probably should know who they are. But Universal didn't even make it. And, like, I'm not assuming anything, but I feel like the only reason why they're keeping it is just to, like, flip off Disney and be like, we have some of yours. But, like,
Sounds all right.
That's my kid.
I don't know whether it was in Disney or whether it was in Universal. It might have been Hollywood, but I've seen, like, a video of this. You have like people walking around the parks that are like not cosplayers but like actors of like Spider-Man or Captain America, and you take pictures with them. But I've seen one that's Wanda. I don't know whether that's in
Disneyland.
Yeah. So like all the people that are around there are still old school ones. There's no like newer stuff like Black Panther
Because
or
they
Wanda.
can't.
Well, obviously. So it's just it's very outdated. So I don't think it's really representative of Universal because they don't even own it. And it's just old. And it's like, it doesn't mean necessarily have to get rid of it. It's just more, there's probably better options that you can do.
And that's exactly, Jade's put across the point, exactly what I said. Yes, Marvel's relevant, but it's they were when they signed that deal with Marvel, when Marvel was on the bones of its and they needed Universal way more than Universal needed them right then. they only signed up to use the rights for those specific characters. But the problem is when Disney bought Marvel and they've made this whole new Marvel Cinematic Universe, that they've made characters that were B and C list characters. Let's be honest, Iron Man wasn't an A-list Marvel hero when they made that film, and now everyone and his dad knows who Iron Man is. So they are kind of hamstrung with that deal that they signed back then. I understand why they haven't moved to get rid of it, because they will still be making money off the fact that Marvel is so hot right now. But I wonder how many people it puts off, because they'll go, this isn't Marvel. It's strange. It's such a strange thing.
I agree with you on that. I mean, this land is really a mash between the original comics and Saturday morning cartoon Marvel, which I grew up on. Every Saturday, you watch The Amazing X-Men, The Uncanny X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man. And that's what this land is.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah. Now, going based off of what Marvel and the whole MCU has done in the past 10 years, whatever it is, it changed the landscape entirely. It's not to say that none of these comics and none of these characters as is are not relevant, but they're kind of also not relevant, right? Like everybody, when you talk about Marvel, they're talking about MCU. Not a lot of people talking about specific comics and things like that. So with that being said, yeah, I think it would be nice you'd have to get rid of the land. Because you go over to Disney and you look at Avengers Campus. That place is badass, like completely badass. They had all the liberty and availability to do whatever they want to do there because they own the rights to it, and they were able to make something really cool. Universal could have done something like that had Marvel not owned the rights to it, and this discussion wouldn't even be happening at this point. So I'm kind of the mindset now, where we are, just let it go, and do
DC.
Do DC. Obviously, that's the one that everybody says over and over and over and over again, Jeff.
Yeah, I've got your back, Jeff.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I have no problem. Do a proper DC too, because I went to a DC land over in Six Flags.
Six Flags, yeah.
And that was depressing.
Yeah.
That was so depressing. It looks, it's like the Wish version. I don't even know. It's worse than a Wish version. Terrible. I would love to see a retheming of this land with today's tech and ingenuity, creativity, that kind of stuff, and have full access to everything they need in DC. Just as is, Universal has their hands tied behind their back, and I agree they're not going to get rid of it. They're not going to get rid of it until they're making money off of it, no matter what. The day that Marvel, Disney, whichever one you want to call it, right, comes up to them and go, all right, here's a big fat check, hand it over, or some kind of clause in the contract that they mess up on. That's the only time you'll see Marvel gone.
Yes.
Aside from that, it's there to stay, and you're going to just have to live with it, which is fine because, like you mentioned, they have fantastic rides in there with a cool story that goes on. So, doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy it. But you're not going to get, an Avengers Campus level experience now.
No, which is such a shame. Like I say, you're gonna take your kids to Marvel superhero, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, can I get to see Doctor Strange or Shang-Chi?" Like, no. Well, what about
Shang-Chi? Yes.
What about Ant-Man or what? No. What about? And it's just gonna be like, no.
Exactly, and it's gonna be like you had mentioned, it's gonna be interesting because I believe when they showed Phase 5 and 6, so the Fantastic Four is scheduled.
Yep, for Phase 6,
in the beginning of 2024. Yep, it's like the third movie in, and then I don't think they mentioned X-Men because there was a lot of blanks in that roadmap. But it's gonna be interesting and to see what happens at that time, because maybe Disney right now doesn't care about X-Men and Fantastic Four in that sense. They're not too bothered by it. But because we're going to be exiting out of Phase 6 and the next trilogy of phases, it's going to be heavy X-Men. and mutants, and Doctor Doom apparently possibly being one of the, Thanos level threats inside of all that. So I feel like they're going to want their hands on all of that. They're playing around with Ant-Man and things like that right now, but the X-Men is the X-Men. It's like saying Avengers. It's one of the largest pieces of their property, and they can't, as far as I'm aware, they can't use any of that down here. They're going to want to at their flagship park. So we'll see what happens in a couple of years.
I think my soul just withered and died. I'm so marveled out. I'm comic booked out.
I'll kind of agree with this point. I'm getting to the point where, unless we went to see Doctor Strange, I enjoyed it, but
I like
you
Doctor
thought
Strange
I can't be. I'll watch it when it comes on Disney Plus.
I'm a little bit there with you guys. Yeah. There's kind of too much. I'm marveled and I'm Star Wars'd out.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's coming from a Star Wars head.
Yeah. Shang-Chi though, yes please. I'll be all over Shang-Chi because that.
It was different though, wasn't it?
It was, and but so was Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
because it's all the mysticism, and I always love that anyway. And I think obviously we're not going to see anything like that come into the Universal parks because of the licensing and the contract and everything. See, I'm sitting here thinking, and it's like I don't do Doctor Doom. If the ride mechanism was reversed and it was a drop tower, not a problem. The other way, I can't ride it like that. So I can't do. That makes me.
She doesn't
ill.
like the shoot up. She likes the drop down.
I like the drop down. I can't do it the other way around. Stormforce Acceleratron. 10 a penny. I love them. Let me just try and get the child to fly out of the. You cannot spin fast enough for me. If my child doesn't puke, I've failed. The Hulk. Obviously, you haven't ridden it since it was redone.
No.
Great coaster. Does it need to be themed to the Hulk? No, because it's the ride itself that's great. Once you are out of that tunnel, you don't hear anything.
Right, well, let's be honest. The Decepticoaster at Universal Beijing is the exact same ride.
It's just a phenomenal coaster. That can be anything. Spider-Man, love it. But it's nostalgia. I'm more interested in the ride mechanics and all of that. But
that one I feel would hurt a bit.
What if they got rid of it?
Yeah, that's my only sticking point. But for me, it's going to go at some point because of we know that. Do you know what? I'm just
fine.
Like,
you've got Transformers. It's the same.
But I'm like, do you know what? I'd rather have Batman.
Can you imagine a Justice League? It would be awesome.
I'd rather have Batman. Thank you.
You would want Superman.
Yeah. No, I don't want Wonder Woman. No, Batman. No, Batman. For being small, Batman has been.
Anyway,
that's it. I'm a Batman girl. Always have been. Or Deadpool Land.
You're not going to get that because that's owned by Disney now as well. So.
Yeah, I know, but
Kingsman Land.
That'd be fun. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But in its current iteration, with the age of the not the age of the characters, but the is generation the right word? Where they are, because they are old iterations of the characters. That's not relevant. Like we said, kids are going to come in going, "Oh my god, I'm going to see."
Yeah, Black Panther or
no, but even ones I'm going to see.
No, you're not.
I'm going to see Captain America, then go.
To be fair, Captain America there does look more like Captain America.
Or for a long time though, I've been a bit about this land. Spider-Man, yep, that's the only thing I want to do. I've had I had good pizza in Cafe 4. Recommend that. They have some nice restrooms. But I don't do Dippin' Dots, and that's all I seem to sell there. I don't like Dippin' Dots to look at me like that.
I think this goes to a conversation we had a while ago. The problem is with Islands of Adventure, other than putting the stuff in Jurassic Park that they've done and Skull Island and Hogsmeade, the rest of it still is 1999 Islands of Adventure.
Yeah. Which, from a nostalgic point of view, there's nothing wrong with that. I think the problem with Marvel is it's irrelevant because we know it's going to have to go at some point in the future. Disney are going to pull that. And we know that's going to happen. But because of that, they've been hampered and they haven't been able to modernise it. Then they can't do anything because that's...
they have. They've upgraded, like, they've redone the video on Spider-Man and the soundtrack and stuff. It's
soft.
Incremental. Yeah,
it's
they haven't
soft.
been able to do anything.
Yeah, soft movement because
They can't
I can tell
put
you-
a brand new ride in there.
I can tell you now that the Disney lawyers will be watching with eagle eyes for that
They're waiting
first
for
little
that.
trip, the tiniest little thing, and they will
Yeah.
pull the entire.
Because as far as I'm aware, the whole contract states is they have to keep it in a standard that Disney deem fitting for the property itself.
Yeah, and because it's such a dated property,
What the hell that means, I don't know.
because they're only allowed to use the very dated images.
Yeah.
It's and let's face it, the kids are the generations that you need to excite because they're the future patrons. They're the ones who are going to bring their kids, and they're the ones that you've got to please. And this, like Jade said, who knows what it is?
Right, so here's an interesting question. Anyone with kids aged, let's go, 5 to 12, going
No,
into
I don't have any of
Marvel
those.
Super... I know you don't, that you know of.
Okay. Yeah.
Taking your kids in, how did they feel about Marvel Superhero Island now, obviously knowing about the MCU? Get in touch with us. I'd be interested to find out what
Very interesting.
people think, for definite. Cool. Right. I think it was a good job Michelle dropped off halfway through, because I think this might have been a 2-hour epic.
Yeah, it's now Thursday.
Jade, thank you very much for joining us. Your insight was actually really, really good.
I expect more conversations like this at home now.
I
Thank
feel
you for
younger
having me.
already.
It was a very different. It's nice to have someone with a different opinion on, because we know for the most part our opinions, because
Yeah.
we've been podcasting together for a long time.
We know Jade has opinions.
Yes, she normally
was-
voices them a lot more sternly than she did tonight.
Yeah, a bit more sweary usually.
But yeah,
Yes, our little delicate Jade.
She's all
if
grown
you
up.
have any comments on what we've talked about, drop us some emails, post on socials and stuff. It's interesting if you disagree
Yeah,
with
you're
us or
allowed to
agree with us
disagree.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It is interesting. The
If we've
Marvel
missed
one
any points.
is definitely I don't think it's a strange one.
I think the problem is there's so much nostalgia there that it makes it a difficult choice.
Yeah.
Because I do love, Spider-Man especially, I love that ride. But taking the whole thing into consideration, it's tough.
It's talking about a property that's relevant, but the version they have isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But think about this. Your Universal Studios, it's 1997. Like, you have no idea of this phenomenon.
Oh, God,
'Cause
of course
like
not.
MCU did something that nobody else
Yes.
has been able to do. Even Star Wars, which has its movies and stuff, that whole idea of a whole world of all these interacting movies and characters like that was I don't think really ever done, aside from like little movies here and there. But what they did was like just mind blowing. Now we just take it for granted, I think. And Universal would have never thought that. Like,
No,
they
of
just do
course they
cartoons and comic books.
Yeah.
This will last forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It definitely gave us a different topic to discuss. I think it's very interesting. I think it's going to be... I think we may, knowing how long this has gone, have to break down Universal Studios Florida into maybe 2 halves, because there's a lot more to delve into over there. But for now, that's going to wrap up this episode, and we will, as we always do, with a Universal Is, and this one comes from Naomi Quebedo. If you want to get involved, all you've got to do is let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less, and send them to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com, or send them on social media, and we will use them to wrap up the podcast. But for this episode, which is episode 524, Naomi says Universal is a true vacation. See you next week, everyone.
That was another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and email Michelle at portkeyvacations.net to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6, Call Off the Marines, we're coming home.